It all starts like this. You're home alone one night and you're just scrolling on your phone because you're bored, and maybe you're on TikTok or Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and you see this weird looking cartoon-like video that says, "This is the fall of Western civilization. It's just like the decline of the Roman Empire." And you ignore it, you go to bed, but then you wake up the next day and you're at work and it's a lazy day and you're scrolling through your phone. You see some self-proclaimed alpha male telling you 5 reasons why you'll never be in a relationship. You keep scrolling down in the algorithm. You find some woman who's talking about how everyone that you like, all your favorite celebrities and athletes are all toxic and they're all problematic and they all suck. This might seem like an exaggeration, but this is actually a reality for millions of people. We are currently drowning in content that is negative and cynical, and Gen Z has a word for it. They call it being a doomer. They call it doomer content. So the reason this is such a big problem is not because this content hasn't existed in the past. It's because this content is now spreading like wildfire over social media algorithms. The problem with this is that algorithms are designed specifically to get your attention. They want to draw your attention in because engagement is how they get ad revenue. That's the entire business model of social media. That's the business model of all these sites from Facebook to TikTok. It's not even a problem with an algorithm. The problem is that this is how you get engagement. Clickbait is driven by hate and fear. So the more fear that you have, the more money that they make off of this. The first step to not be a doomer is to know when to step away from this content. If this content is driving you crazy, you have to learn how to put it aside and to do something else. Personally, I can say that there's been times where I've doom scrolled on Twitter or on Reddit, and I know it's making me miserable, but yet for some reason I don't want to stop. And you have to tell yourself that you just got to stop, because otherwise it's going to drive you crazy. We keep educating our kids with this content, and it's not been good for them. Over half of American teenagers say that they have anxiety. About 20% say that they're seriously depressed, and a similar amount say that they've at one time in their life considered suicide. This is a serious problem, and while this isn't entirely because of this, this definitely plays a major role in the development of teenagers, in the development of young people today. However, we can't just say to put this content aside. We also need to create positive alternatives. Personally, I created the U Frontier, my creative office space in Norwalk, Connecticut, because I realized that it's very easy and very cheap to just scroll on your phone, and it's often very expensive and very difficult to actually go out and meet people, especially when you're out of school and you're an adult. It becomes a lot harder. And we need more avenues, we need more ways to make it easier and cheaper for people to do that, because otherwise it's easy just to check out and just to engage in this doomer content. So we need something more positive. We need to get off the doomer content, but we ourselves need to work to create something better, to create something more positive, and to have the faith and have the motivation that it's worth doing, because it's absolutely worth doing. I can say myself that when I've been, especially stressed out, or I've been especially frustrated with the real world, that's when this doomer content makes more sense. But the problem is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep engaging this content, it's going to make more sense. But when you realize that these people are just trying to sell you stuff online, or they're just trolling online, and you actually engage in the real world, and that's when you become more motivated and this content stops making sense. So let's try to live in the real world. Let's try to help each other out and build a better future. It's worth doing. Thank you.